Alright guys, TacticalRab here today. I hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. And just ahead of the CDL launch, Nadeshot has gone off on the main stage against Activison and Modern Warfare 2, echoing some sentiments from Scump Shotzzy a few days ago about the state of the game right now, and also his frustrations more than likely about paying $25 million from his organisation to get into this league, and this is the quality of product that we get. Very much enjoyed your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoy, subscribe if you are new as always. Kind of crept up really, but CDL starts this week on Friday are the first matches. Firstly, this from the subliners, they confirmed their jersey rights. So I think we get the subliners jersey yesterday. Today I think is going to be OpTic, and then tomorrow I think is Vegas. We'll stay tuned for that. But yeah, this is the subliners jersey. A really nice design. I really like it. The question to me is, why is it grey? So obviously, okay, right, yes, it's black and white. Obviously, I get that. But the actual jersey is grey, right? So yeah, they show it in kind of grayscale there, but the actual jersey is grey. So I don't know what you guys think about this. I really like the design and the colour and like the back of it and all this type of stuff, but there's some questions as to whether they could have added a little bit more yellow in here, right? Because you'd thought in subliners they've got the yellow branding going on, but effectively it's kind of like, I mean, it's grey, it's almost like a bluey tinge in the grey. I think the jersey design is really nice, but okay, you've got the yellow at the end of the sleeves. I just thought maybe a bit more yellow in here, maybe on the colours, or just somewhere would have spiced it up a little bit. That's really my only concern or question about this, but still, pretty nice jersey nonetheless. It's kind of fitting with what the subliners tend to deliver, and yes, OpTic is going to be today. We'll see about that one, just because, you know, of course, there's always drama and talk about how OpTic's jersey will be, especially as there was on Thieves that we saw a few days ago. Let's talk London quickly, because their jersey's pretty good. This is the collection of those guys now over on the West Coast, I believe, because they're going to stay out there for this season. CleanX looks quality in this picture, I can't lie. He looks like he could be a mafia boss, like, you know, Paulie from Goodfellas or something like that. I thought it was pretty good. But speaking of CleanX and London, he actually said this yesterday. I think we need to rerun at those coach rankings, because damn son. Now, this is pretty interesting, just because we saw, of course, the other day that London were ranked 12th and 12th by a clear margin in these coaches' power rankings. Every team but two teams, or maybe even one team, put London as the worst team in the world, basically. So, you know, not necessarily a good sign for London, and it's quite clear from Dashy and what others have said that, yeah, if there's a clear worst team, it's the London Royal Ravens. However, you know, things change before the game launches. They've had, obviously, another week of practice here over the last week or so before the season starts, and every extra day can give a chance for a team to catch up or fall further behind potentially. London apparently are the ones doing the catching up, because as Clay says here, say it ain't so, and tweets this out. This is a screenshot from what I believe is the CDL Scrim spreadsheet. So basically all the teams have a spreadsheet, a Google document together, like a Google sheet, and they put in there the team names and then who they're going to practice against for that particular day, so they can get the scrim block sorted for a few days in advance, so they get all practice sorted, this type of stuff. Clearly, Ravens yesterday, I guess, were scrimming the Florida guys and also OpTic. So, you know, presumably London took down OpTic in that scrim set, and now Paulex has tweeted out, yeah, well, these coach power rankings are unfair on us because, you know, we absolutely just fried those kids. Now, we don't really know how this is. We don't know any insight on that. But, yeah, just want to keep your eyes on, right, because maybe London have turned a corner or they're still terrible. I don't know. But people seem to agree they were at least terrible at one point or another. But last season, London, and in fairness, OpTic, they were two teams that started out the season very well. London were effectively the third best team at the start behind FaZe and OpTic, really. Like, they came top 3 at the first major, or top 4, whatever it was. But they had a great run at the first major, and they got a lot of their points at the start of last season. So if London can't do that again, you kind of wonder whether they can actually make a massive comeback like New York did last season to actually still qualify for the World Championship. Quick note from this as well. So Envoy tweets out this picture of Drazah yesterday, and then Kenny follows it up with this. The rumour has it that after this smokes and sniper drama, Octane pretty much explains that what happened is that they did the smoke and the sniper GA at the same time. So, you know, whatever pros managed to convince the other guys in that chat to do the smoke and sniper GA discussion together, even though that logic doesn't even add up anyway. Whatever. Octane then came back after they banned the smokes and the snipers and said, I don't care what you guys say, I'm using the sniper anyway. And they thought, actually, yeah, this is probably a stupid idea. We've got to backtrack on this. But apparently with snipers back, smokes weren't yet back, but now smokes might be back. So what have the pros done over the past few days? I simply don't understand. Smokes will probably always be banned in respawn modes just because it's too messy. The fact that players can just drop a smoke at their feet in a hard point, just make it super mixy, get the one ways, bit of a mess. But in Search and Destroy, I think it's a kind of necessary evil that, okay, smoke grenades might not be perfect, but it does add a lot more strategic depth, I think, to Search and Destroy, allowing one team to have one smoke per team. And apparently smokes are now back, as Kenny kind of implies here. And also in Europe, they've now allowed smokes into Search and Destroy again. They've already banned, or they've also banned all the score streaks, because apparently there's a bug where you can't change them or something. So, you know, classic Infinity Ward really, and we'll see some examples from Nadeshot here in a second on his frustrations with the game. But, yeah, European challengers have allowed smoke grenades back in, and usually what that means is that North America will follow in short order. So in the last few days, the M4's still in, and Respawn is still probably going to play relatively the same, but Search and Destroy has been an absolute minefield. Smokes are out, snipers are out, then now they're back in again, so who knows what's going to happen here at Major 1, or at least in the first qualifiers in the coming days. It's going to be very spicy indeed. Let's dive into this Nadeshot drama then. He was also giving his thoughts on stream about the team kit and how he's not happy, like, at the state of it, and knows that it isn't great. Right, their jersey is certainly not as good as some others that we have seen. Talks about, you know, lack of time and stuff like this, but obviously every team was in a similar boat, probably just frustrated that theirs isn't as good as others is, and probably they're going to have to do a much better job for next year. But this was the real clip that people were discussing last night, was that you could already tell Nadeshot's like, this kind of, you know, pre-Advanced Warfare Nadeshot rage is coming to the fore again, and, yeah, it's good to see the passion, and you can understand why. So pretty much what's happening here, they're playing these, this new Warzone thing. If you get a certain amount of wins in a row, I think once you get 5 wins in a row, you then, after your 6th game, you can then go on this, like, nuke streak, and, what is often happening is teams will go on this big win streak to try and get the nuke kit in Warzone, and then one of their lobbies will crash, or their game will, you know, break, the dev error comes up, the scanner repair, and that's what happens to Nadeshot here, and I think they ended up getting it anyway, but they ruined the streak, as Nadeshot's game crashed, and, like, yeah, he wasn't a happy man, going off about the state of the game, and the fact that they make $1 billion, and, like, the game's still crashing and having all these issues.
Dumbass game, bro. You sit here for 9 hours trying to do this. You get to the 5th game, and my shit crashes on a state-of-the-art PC, 3090, i9 maxed out, spec'd out, $5 grand on this thing for this dumbass game to crash. Jesus Christ, I just spent my whole day trying to get this goddamn thing. I mean, I know I sound like a whiny little bitch about a video game, but Jesus Christ. Fix your You just made $1 billion! And you've done it every year! Every year! You have made $1 billion+ from this game! And I can't even play it! Holy...
Wait, you can't buy it from the same buy?
No, it's so whack.
What?
Yeah, it's not great.
Yeah. All good.
That's pretty whack. Not gonna lie. Wait, can I buy it? Because
nope,
I didn't. Oh, it's one per team.
Yep.
Damn.
Yeah, it's the dumbest thing I think I've ever seen.
Damn.
It's
Hey, what did we say to that?
Yo, chill, stop the cap.
wait, why?
It's been being a team player all day. He's like, yo, chill, get fired.
You're hella
Nah, there's no way we can get fined for Warzone, bro. Like,
really?
there's no way.
This shit is literally so dog. I'm not gonna lie.
What the hell?
Get in, boys, come on.
Yo,
You just said we can't get.
And of course, these issues aren't just exclusive to Warzone as well. They're exclusive, well, not just exclusive, but, you know, they're also on the CDL side and private matches, all this stuff. Like, not just regular multiplayer, but also if you load up custom games, the dev errors, all these scanner repair issues are still arriving. And they've been there for the last several years. And, like, they maybe don't know how to fix them, or they aren't really trying properly to fix them, right? That's the thing. I even shared that clip from Scump where he wasn't a happy man about Warzone, and Shotzzy goes one further to say it's just absolutely terrible, basically. And it's not like those sentiments aren't echoed across the multiplayer side of the game as well. So you can understand the frustration. Obviously, like, is there going to be any fines dished out? I don't really know. I hope not, at least. And as Nadeshot goes on to say, look, I lost my cool. This isn't a PR tweet. Nobody messaged me to backtrack on this. Nothing like that. Watching this out of context is embarrassing. Warzone 2 is a lot of fun. Do love the game. This makes me sound ungrateful. Goes on to say in the replies, if you watch this clip independently, you'll have missed the hours and hours where I praise the game. It's not perfect. There's lots of bugs, but it's a great addition to the franchise. I don't want any employers to feel as if their hard work has gone unnoticed, and you know, going on to say the following as well about, you know, really creative battle royale experience. So, you know, fair enough. There was other positive moments of the stream. This was Nadeshot's, you know, darkest hour, I suppose, but it's the one that everyone's going to clip up because it's understandable. I think it kind of echoes what a lot of people think about the game and the frustrations that they're making all this cash, and I'm sure some of the frustration from Nadeshot here came from the fact that the Los Angeles Thieves is a team in the CDL. They have paid as an organization $25 million. Well, they haven't paid that yet, but it's going to be over a certain amount of years. They have to pay it, or maybe they won't. We'll see about that later today. But all that money, all that investment, all that potential growth is just non-existent because they make all the cash and then they still don't really fix anything that actually needs to be fixed in the game itself. So yeah, intrigued to your thoughts, and Nadeshot goes on to say this: I'm not backtracking, I still believe in what I said, but it didn't need to be shared with such aggression and immaturity. I've got a lot of people praising me for sharing my thoughts, but I'm telling you this clip isn't who I am, and that's what I'm apologizing for. So yeah, I thought a nice statement from Nadeshot, really just trying to, you know, not do a PR tweet, but just say that, look, this isn't fully representative of his opinions on the game, but nonetheless he doesn't, you know, he's not backtracking on what he said. He still agrees with the statements that he put out there. And this is one other example here from Marksman, right? Just talking about basically Warzone, all these bugs, all these glitches going on, but certain glitches seem to get fixed interestingly fast, right? Apparently there was some sort of infinite money glitch going around. That's now gone, lasted about 2 days. But all these other issues, the custom game issues that took ages to fix and apparently won't be fixed even potentially all the way until the CDL has launched, but yet the non-stop crashing dev errors, like that have been a thing for ages, they still happen. So I just don't really understand where, maybe they just can't fix it, or there's some just game broken thing with the engine that just makes this happen. But surely, like, this has got to be a primary goal for, well, Infinity Ward to actually fix these dev errors and crashing, right? It's been a massive issue ever since we've gone to PC, not just, you know, in Warzone, but also on the multiplayer side as well. And it's going to cause a nightmare, I'm sure, this season to an extent. Like, I'm going to be very surprised if this weekend's matches run smoothly, right? Because I can expect to go into this weekend, have game crashes. Like, every year, there's at least a good few days of the CDL where it's an absolute shambles. The games are crashing, there's mega delays, the servers are down, all this stuff. Like, it always happens at least a few times a year. And given the state of the game as it is now, I wouldn't be surprised if it happens in week 1 of the CDL, which is where the league needs to have their viewership to be the best, which is where it's the most promising, because that's the whole point of starting the season early, that, you know, you get more interest at the start of the season than you usually would if you start it too late out in January, February, all this type of stuff. Like, it's great they're starting it earlier, but from the additional people that might be watching just because of that, it might be an absolute disaster class in the making if the game is broken. And I think maybe even part of that theory is why Nadeshot's getting so frustrated about, you know, kind of his investment into Call of Duty over the last several years. Speaking of Thieves, they wanted to mention this because actually Thieves are on a 2-peat already, right? They won Major 4, they won the World Championship. They are looking to go back to back to back, a feat which few teams have ever actually achieved. Only, you know, Freako Impact, Parasite, Killer, Karma, Miracle from back in the day, and all the other teams that have ever done a 3 in a row include Crimsix. The original Complexity team with Clayster, the further Complexity team, and former, well, then Evil Geniuses with Karma, and then the 2 versions of the OpTic dynasty with Nadeshot on the team initially as well, and then Karma in the latter half of it. So kind of a, well, an interesting club of teams and players that are the only players ever to have actually done a 3 in a row. And Thieves will be the favourite for Major 1 based on the current state of the standings. But very much enjoyed your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. Take care, and I'll see you next time.